Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about anger. The rise in attacks on service workers, road rage, air rage, all seem to have gotten worse recently. Today in the studio, we've got Dr. Henrietta Rindahl, who specializes in psychology. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Doctor.
My pleasure.
So what do you think is the reason for the increase in anger we're seeing directed at service workers?
I do partly blame the pandemic and recent world events for the increase in hostility. Most people spend a long time indoors, frightened about the situation and about their loved ones. And we learned during this time that other people could be a threat just by being close to you. There was also a divide between how people thought the pandemic should be handled, and there were a lot of disputes over wearing masks and vaccines. There were political leaders, particularly in the U.S., who contradicted what health experts were saying, and it really showed the divisions in society and increased the prejudice against doctors and health workers who were simply trying to do their jobs. All the while, we were isolated from each other. I think you also have to consider that a lot of people, even if they have gone back to work, have still continued to work from home. So many of us have lost the social skills we had to navigate through life. When we leave the comfort of our homes, some people feel they have to be assertive to get what they want, when they might not actually need to be.
Do you think it's just certain types of people who are likely to be more angry?
Of course, there are always going to be troublemakers in any society. But arguing with the server in a restaurant doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. Indeed, you might need to be vocal about a problem because, let's face it, businesses don't always get it right either. But when people are physically attacking people for just doing their job, or yelling at service workers who haven't actually done anything wrong, then that really says more about the customer than the worker.
What can we do if we're feeling angry?
First of all, you need to remember you're dealing with a human who has feelings and family and friends. There are people who see themselves as superior to service workers based on the job they do, which is a very unpleasant way to think. The person bringing your coffee might be studying for a degree that will lead to a cure for cancer, so it would be foolish to put any value on that. If you have a problem, talk to them calmly, and if they are wearing a name badge, use their name. Show that you have respect for them, and talk about the problem in terms of how you can solve it together. Think, what can we do to fix this? Rather than, what are you going to do to fix this? It also doesn't hurt to begin your complaint with, I realize this isn't your fault, but, as this reduces any feeling that the complaint is personal.
What would you suggest people do to make sure they are less likely to get angry with service workers?
When you're going out, check in with yourself. Ask yourself how you are feeling. If the answer is that you're tired or stressed, then just knowing this will help you to avoid situations that might make things worse. Also, try to be flexible. If the place where you normally buy coffee is busy that day, try another place. Be prepared to break out of your routine and find an alternative way to what you are planning. If you do feel yourself getting angry, take a minute to walk away and breathe. You can always ask who to contact if you have a problem in a business and get the details and then call or write later when you're in a more relaxed environment and you've had time to think. All of these might not seem convenient always, but they are certainly better than the consequences of getting into a public shouting match with someone. And if everyone did it, there might be a little more harmony in the world.
Dr. Rindahl, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today. Next, we're taking your calls about situations you have seen where people have got angry with service workers in public.